Hello and welcome to this week's digital edition of Overdrive. I am Sohini, Dutt. We are live right now across our various social media platforms on Facebook, on YouTube, on Twitter. We bring this show to you every week so that we get a chance to interact with you, to get to know what you're thinking. So feel free and send us all your comments. And Bert, as well as Aditya Chatterjee, will be joining us shortly to answer all of your queries. Now, let's start off the show with the first story for this week. We're talking about the Hero Xtreme 160R. Now, Hero is offering a premium commuter motorcycle, one that promises to offer good performance, also a tremendous amount of features and technology, all of this at a very affordable price. Let's take a look at what Aditya has to say about it.
Till a few years ago, there was a clear distinction between performance and commuter motorcycles. While the former was all about gizmos, features and performance to cater to the enthusiastic clientele, commuter motorcycles were seen as a more functional medium of two-wheel transportation. Now, some of them were not even exciting, for they just provided momentum to do point A to point B travel. However, things have changed now, like the fact that you don't have to wait for films to hit theaters, as that can be accessed from your smartphone. You no longer have to shell a premium for performance and features, as that has become accessible without making you compromise on efficiency and practicality. That's what Hero claims with this, the Xtreme 160R, its first ever offering in the premium 160cc segment. Instead of going overly muscular with a design that could have made it polarizing, the Xtreme 160R features sculpted contours that can be seen on the front fender, large fuel tank and also on the tail section. Similar to the concept, the Xtreme 160R comes with LED lighting, above which is the digital instrument cluster. However, what has not made its way into the production spec bike are the USD forks, which in the Xtreme's case is the telescopic unit for obvious reasons. It does not matter what profile you focus on the Xtreme 160R, because the motorcycle has a balanced design all throughout. Now, to my liking is this, the large tank extension that flows neatly into the central panel. While it does add flow to the whole design, it can be a bit of an expensive affair in case of a fall or a damage. Now, the other highlights that you will see on the Xtreme 160R has to be this, the LED droid headlight, the stubby exhaust, the solid tail with the integrated grab section, and the smoke finished tail light. Now, the overall appeal in terms of styling of the Xtreme 160R is better than even its namesake larger sibling, the Xtreme 200. The positive feel is not just felt in the design department alone, as the motorcycle boasts of premium build quality in terms of switchgear and panels placement. The equipment list consists of a single switch for ignition on-off and cranking the engine, hazard indicator switch, LED indicators and inverted LCD instrument cluster that does look more premium than some of its rivals in this segment. Further, the Xtreme 160R also comes with a segment first feature that avoids engine ignition when the motorcycle is parked on the side stand. What you see here is the all-new air-cooled 163cc fuel-injected engine. Now, this unit here makes 15 PS of power at 8,500 RPM and generates a torque of 14 Newton meters at 6,500 RPM. Now, unlike some of its rivals that use a 4-valve engine design, Hero has gone for a more simpler 2-valve design, which we believe has helped Hero save costs. But then, there's more to the engine than just the valve design. Now, crank up the engine and you will realize that this is a surprisingly silent unit with a linear feel. Now, commuting in the city was not much an issue, because this engine here makes enough juice at a little lower than 4,000 RPM, making sure all the bumper-to-bumper traffic chaos is taken care of. Now, push the throttle further to say around 5,000 RPM and you will find yourself effortlessly cruising at speeds of up to 80 to 85 kilometers per hour. And that is where you realize that this engine is a smooth performer. It is refined and it's nice and confident. However, when you try and achieve higher speeds, say around 100 km per hour and beyond, that is where the engine feels strained, as there's a mild buzz that seeps into the foot pegs and also the handlebar. While the top-end performance is not the high point for the Xtreme 160R, it scores impressively in terms of fuel efficiency.
As we mentioned in the video as well, there are this story is up on our YouTube channel, on Facebook as well. The full story. Let me bring Aditya Chatterjee and Bertrand now on the show to hear more from them.
Hello, guys.
Hi, Aditya.
Hi guys, hi, hello, good
Hi,
evening.
Hi,
Sohini.
Bert.
Hi, Bert.
Good evening, good evening.
Good evening. Lovely to see you out once again, Bert.
Yes, I keep enjoying this. Every time I've got a new location where I find myself in. Of course, with lockdown, with the lockdown, it also meant that a lot of work from home was a challenging situation to be in. But now, Unlock 3.0, a lot of restrictions have been lifted off. Things are far better, isn't it, than before?
Yes.
So, from what we've seen, Ministry of Home Affairs has released a whole set of guidelines for Unlock 3.0, which are fairly promising. I mean, it's not just the opening up of the malls or the recreational facilities and even malls for that matter, but it's also the opening up of roads. There it is for the Unlock 3.0 for motorists essentially. It's great because states now there's this clause that says there shall be no restriction on interstate and intrastate movement of persons and goods, including those for cross-land border trade under treaties with neighboring countries, and no separate permissions, approvals, e-permits will be required for such movements, which is a great move. But also bear in mind the opening line over there, which says states, UTs, based on their assessment of the situation, may prohibit certain activities outside the containment zone or impose such restrictions as deemed necessary. So the final word will still be left up to the states as to what they require, depending on the situation in that particular state. If cases are increasing, the state has the authority to lock down and prevent or rather prohibit movement around unnecessarily. So that will still be a state requirement. So yeah, people, I know there are a lot of people who are very, very active looking to move out. Unlock Kevin 3.0 has given them the kind of freedom to move around. I'm already seeing this on a lot of my motorcycling groups, for instance, or my travel groups as well. People who've made plans and looking to head out on the weekend, get out for a ride or a drive, or just get out of their homes and get to someplace. Do take care, be careful. It doesn't mean that the pandemic is over, the virus has gone away. It still exists. So please maintain all of those health and safety regulations. Just stay in line with those. I know you can see me not wearing a mask at this point in time, but I'm inside a car. I've taken it out only because this is a lot more audible in that way. But otherwise, I mean, we're wearing our masks everywhere we go, every time we're out on the streets, anywhere. And I advise you and urge you to do the same. So do stay safe out there, people.
I'm extremely jealous of a lot of people, in fact, because they will be part of the Unlock 3.0 and we are still in Maharashtra. We are stuck, following the lockdown rules. But it's for our own
Well,
safety. So I guess,
absolutely. I mean, there is a lot of movement that's happening. People are going about, they're going to work, they are traveling using their cars, motorcycles. Personal mobility is on the increase. What we're also seeing are some positive signs of growth from the market. Keep in mind, a lot of the growth is coming in from rural and semi-urban centers, and I think that is going to be a wave in the future. A lot of people who are looking to buy personal mobility solutions, that demand is coming in from the rural and semi-urban centers. The urban centers, metropolises, are still not contributing numbers like they used to, but I guess this will happen in the future.
all right. Aditya, we'll come back to you. There were
Yes.
quite a few questions that came up about the Hero Xtreme 160R, very popular motorcycle, and you seem to be very impressed with it as well. So let me start off with Kalyan Chand via YouTube had asked us, what is the suspension travel? Is it on the harder side or the softer side? Because our roads certainly need big suspension travels. You cannot ignore people on YouTube, Aditya. You have to tell them.
Oh, for sure, for sure. In fact, you won't believe when we put it on the OVERDRIVE Instagram handle and on the social platform that we are planning to ride the Xtreme 160R. Please send in your question. There were so many of them, right? So obviously, first we'll start with Kalyan's question on if the suspension is tuned towards the harder or the softer side. So Kalyan, yes, the suspension is tuned towards the softer side, and in fact, like I've said in the review, in the road test review, which is live on OVERDRIVE, and the video is also live, that the suspension is tuned towards the softer side and is one of the strongest highlights of the Xtreme. In fact, we did take it over broken roads and very, very bad sections. But you know what? The suspension setup really took all of that with great confidence, and it is one of its core strengths. So yeah, that's that.
All right. We had another question from Preetham Debroy. He wanted to know, does the tire hugger touch the rear mudguard?
Yeah, so in fact, I also had the same concern because when I saw the pictures, when I saw the pictures on the website or also the images that came, the tire hugger was not there. But then yes, the production bike has a tire hugger. It looks that it will brush with the mudguard, but it doesn't. I mean, we did try. We rode it through a lot of different sections, bad roads, potholes, like I said, but no, it didn't. It didn't rub. It was pretty intact.
All right. Girish Talreja, also via YouTube, asked us, headlight performance in the dark.
Headlight and you won't believe, Sohini, a couple of people actually asked me the same question because one of the design highlights of the Xtreme 160R is its LED lighting, and especially that droid LED headlight. And you won't believe, it just does not look fancy. It's actually very, very effective. Oh, okay, you want to show the clip of the headlight? Would be really nice. Okay, now like the whole the small montage show the whole styling, but yes, the headlight. So yes, coming back to the main question, Girish, if it's effective, it's really effective. When we were riding at night, when I was cruising on the highway, it was really nice. It offers really sufficient illumination for any dark condition. So yeah, it's pretty good.
All right, we have a question right now on our live feed. Ashutosh, in fact, wants to know, is it comfortable than the Apache 160?
Now, it's not just Ashutosh, Sohini. I think if I can start counting, there are a lot of people who want to know that how is it compared to the Apache, faster, better, comfortable, reliable, more mileage and features. So now this is something that we'll answer soon. Okay, I will not take it today. But if I can just address if it's comfortable, if the Xtreme 160 is comfortable, it is. It is really comfortable, and I'm sure you've seen the video. I'm a big guy. Okay, and the motorcycle it does look smaller, but you know what? It has general space. The seat is nearly wide. It's reasonably comfortable for the pillion. So yes, it's really comfortable if you consider it as a product now, as a solo standalone thing. Now, if you compare to the Apache, that's something that we'll answer soon, but not today.
All right, let's not ignore our Instagram followers as well. Sangeet via Instagram had sent us a question saying, how is the handling and the ride comfort? Is it the best in the segment? And what about its mileage?
Okay, now let that question be there because there are some 3 questions. I don't want to miss anything. Now, Sangeet, how is the handling and the ride comfort? The handling is really nice. Even like I said, the ride comfort is also very confident. In fact, if you read our detailed review that's live on this website, I'm sorry, I think. Okay. Now, if you read our review, you'll notice that these are the handling, the styling, the comfort. These are its strong highlights. So it's really impressive. I mean, the way it will take bad roads, or even when you're cornering. I mean, the confidence that it shows, it's really nice. And of course, the reason for the nice handling is the chassis and the sticky Revsy tires, which offer amazing confidence. Now, is it the best in this segment? That is something for us to find out soon, not today, but it is impressive. What about mileage? Now, in our test results, we found the figures to be around 48, if I'm not wrong, 48 and 53. Now, these are the fuel efficiency figures that we got in real world conditions. So yeah, those are the numbers and the figures that you wanted to know.
All right. And up next, I have a question from Utkarsh Kaushik also. What's the best thing you see in this motorcycle?
That's a tough one because there's not one thing that you can really point out on the Xtreme 160R because personally, I like the way it looks. I really like the way it looks because it looks balanced. That is something that really appeals to me. Whenever I see a motorcycle design, it should look balanced because there are some motorcycles that have these very muscular front profile, and then they just lose out the enthusiasm when you go to the tail section. But in case of the Xtreme 160R, they've really taken the effort to make sure the whole design is balanced and it's not extremely muscular. It's just sculpted, and the fender, the fuel tank. But like I pointed out in the review itself, the tank extension, which looks nice and adds flow to the whole design, could be an expensive affair if you happen to drop or have a fall with a motorcycle. So that, and in addition to design, if there's something more that can, there are two more things that I actually liked about the Xtreme. The other, in addition to design, is the premium build quality. It feels very confident. The build quality is really premium. And the third is the handling. So these are the three things that I really liked about the Xtreme 160R.
All right, let's take our final question, which was from Nivin Thomas. He wants to know, how is the low-end torque and slow speed stability?
Okay, now Nivin Thomas. Yeah, so the low-end torque and the slow speed stability. Okay, guys. So before I take this final question, I'm sure you're seeing that I'm really keeping my answers short. It's really nice because the detailed road test review is live on the OVERDRIVE website, and the YouTube and the video is also live on YouTube. So everything has been answered in detail on that review. Now, taking Nivin's question, how is the low-end torque and the slow speed stability? Now, Nivin, the thing about the Xtreme 160R is it is all about the low range and the mid range, because that's its core strength. When you're riding, say, in the city, or you're cruising in the mid range spec, it is really nice. It feels very confident, and the engine feels nice. There are no vibrations till up to 80 to 85 kilometers per hour. It's a motorcycle that you can really commute in the city and also head out on the highways if you're not looking at a motorcycle for a top end performance, like say around 9500. Because when you reach at speeds of say around 100 kilometers per hour and beyond, there's this mild strain that seeps into the foot pegs and the handlebar, which is not something that you would enjoy. But yes, coming to your question, the low end torque and the slow speed, it's there. It's really impressive.
All right, those were all the questions. Let's get Bert on the feed as well.
Sure.
There are a couple of car questions which are piling out.
I see those coming in quickly.
But we'll start with Nihar. He says he's got a X1 for 30 lakh rupees with all add-ons like insurance. After tax, it was 34 lakh rupees on road. How good was the deal considering it was billed late in December 2019? Should he have waited till March 2020?
Well, Nihar, well, the obvious answer to that is it's a good thing you didn't wait and you got your car registered early on, because a lot of people are still waiting for the registrations to happen. As you know it, since the lockdown happened, RTOs all across the country have been delayed in their responses. It's still a very slow process. So this is going to be a challenge. Would the pricing have been affected? No, the pricing would not have been affected. You've got a great deal otherwise as well. The only thing would have been any transfer, any registrations that you would have to do would have taken a lot longer than you expected. So it's a great thing. You've got all of your stuff processed early on itself. So yeah, be happy with that.
All right. Santosh Jalanbert wants to know, Nexon or the XUV 300?
Oh, well, tough question, but I think it's a very, very difficult choice between these two. But my bet would go in for the XUV 300 at this point in time. Just a little marginally better than the Nexon. It feels a lot more airy. It feels a lot more spacious. But it's a very sensory feeling that you get in the XUV 300 where space is concerned. The Nexon, again, the cabin doesn't feel as it's large. Don't get me wrong there. The cabin is also large. It's also very, very spacious. But you don't get the same sense of airiness, roominess, and light filling the cabin like you do in the XUV 300. Where the drive and ride quality is concerned, the Nexon has a slight edge over the XUV 300 where ride quality is concerned. It feels a little more plush. It feels a little more comfortable. And that is a good plus point for people who are looking to drive this car in urban areas. Even if you want to take it out on the highways for that matter, as long as you've got good roads, both the cars are great. But where the roads would turn a little trickier, a little worse off, the Nexon would have slightly better ride quality to offer in that space. Dynamics as well. I've driven both of these cars, and of course we did both of these cars on our mega SUV test, which was last year, sometime around the same time of the year in the monsoons. But out there, the Nexon felt a little better. Just keep in mind, the Nexon feels a little better in those conditions also. Overall, I think the Nexon may have a slight edge over the XUV 300.
All right. Aditya, Ryan is saying that he's heard that the CBR 1000RR Fireblade has started bookings in India. When will we see a review once they launch it?
Whenever they launch it. Yes, Ryan, Honda has started bookings of the Fireblade CBR 1000RR, and we at Overdrive are extremely excited about it. In fact, I think among us, Rohit Bratkar is the most excited because he really loves Fireblade as a brand, and he's owned a couple of them. So I am hoping we get to review it soon, because Honda said that deliveries will start by the end of August, which we believe. I mean, if we can try, we can try. If Honda is hearing us, if we can get the motorcycle as soon as possible, we would love to review it. So yeah.
I love Jaswant Kumar's optimism. The Unlock 3.0 has just started and he's already thinking about touring. But he wants to know what's the best car to tour all over India, taking all the terrain into consideration. He's thought a lot about it.
Well, definitely, Jaswant, definitely want an SUV for that matter. Now, there are a variety of SUVs available in the market, and most of them are quite competent in that sense to travel all across India. Keep in mind a few things. One is the cost of fuel that you're going to be spending. Petrol is very expensive at this point in time. It's marginally, there's still a bit of a gap there. So what you want is a diesel vehicle, a diesel SUV. And you want a vehicle that will give you great fuel efficiency. So you're looking at something that's not too large, that's not too fuel hungry, that isn't a guzzler for that matter, first of all. So, you can keep your costs in check. What you're also looking for is a fairly competent SUV in terms of offering you good ride quality and reliability, something that will take you across the country. And I mean, if you're depending on how many kilometers you're doing, but I do remember at one point in time, we'd done a drive across the Golden Quadrilateral, and that was about 8,000 odd kilometers. And you wanted something that that can rely that you can rely on, that can last that kind of a journey. So you're looking at something that either Hyundai or Kia has to offer for that matter, either Seltos or the new Creta for that matter. If you're a little more adventurous and you're looking for something to travel off road, get into, like you mentioned, onto any terrain, then you want something like the Fortuner with a good 4x4 powertrain, or the Endeavour for that matter as well. Now these cars again, they're large, they are expansive. In terms of the footprint that they occupy. So in some regions of India, it could be a little tight, it could be a little tricky, but they give you the option of going off-road, getting into a terrain that you would love to, enjoy yourself in, be a part of nature for that matter. At the same time, these SUVs also get you great drivability on the highways of India. Keep in mind, we've got some fantastic roads across India. The national highway in almost every part across the country is in fantastic condition. And I presume over the last 3 or 4 months, because there's been very limited traffic on these sections, things would have gotten even better. So yes, one of these large SUVs, Fortuner Endeavour, would be a good choice if you don't have that kind of money to, or other that's not in your budget, that doesn't fit your budget. Definitely look at something like the Seltos or the Creta. Those are good options as well to tour around the country in.
But I have a follow-up question on this. Sorry,
Go ahead,
Aditya.
Sohini's planning to head out, I think, on a drive, on a long road trip
No,
somewhere.
I wanted to know, is there any place in India that you've not traveled to as yet? In all these years?
Yeah, far southeast southeast of India. I haven't been there as of yet. That's the one place that I want to still head out to. Nagaland and Mizoram being two of those. Arunachal and Assam and all that. Actually, most of India has been done. I've never had the opportunity to go that far east as of yet. So I'm really looking for a trip that would come up that would take me down that far. From
let us plan a feature board.
But we are all with you.
But let us plan a feature. We can take the best SUV, and I'll get some adventure motorcycles. Let's do this.
Well, yeah. Let's do this. Just not to burst your bubble, but all of these drives are still a fair distance off. You're still a long way from conducting drives of these sort. Let's keep in mind that lockdown isn't entirely over. The virus, as I mentioned earlier, hasn't gone away. It's still there around. So we are still restricted to certain distances within our own state. That's one of the challenges that keeps us active, or thinking about ways and means to getting you drives, guys, for that matter. So yeah, there are still certain restrictions, and we're trying to figure out our ways and means around that, and to work with the authorities and within those regulations and the framework to getting these stories. But yeah, I am hoping in the next few months, 5 to 6 months, certainly we will plan something in the Northeast. Yeah, and let's see where that what we can do there.
We're all harboring a little bit of this dream that Jaswant seems to have. Moving on, we'll take one last question before we move on with our news. Alok Palshetkar wants to know any new regulations to expect with regards to the two-stroke vehicles, as in a directive to discontinue the use of two-stroke vehicles.
Well, there isn't any directive as of now that is coming to completely discontinue, but I mean, you're not allowed to use two-stroke vehicles in any case. It's only going to get more stringent as you go along. Those of you who still got, I mean, we shouldn't be having any two-stroke vehicles for that matter. Most of the country still abides, or rather, you still have the 10-year rule. So all of that, once the scrappage policies, and that's what we're waiting for. Once scrappage policies come into effect, I think these will be completely disallowed and discontinued entirely. You will not be able to use them. This is a matter of a few months away once the scrappage policy comes into effect, and things will change.
All right, we'll just move on to our stories now. You guys can still send us your questions, and we'll get them answered very shortly. We'll just get rid of this pointer. All right. Moving on, while we await Kia to unveil the Sonet in the country on the 7th of August, they have been releasing quite a few sketches of the car. We've just seen a couple of images of the cabin as well. Kia says the SUV's strong tiger nose grille with a three-dimensional stepwell geometric grille mesh is inspired by Indian architecture. Kia mentions the cabin will have a minimalistic design, but will be equipped with class-leading features to enhance the premium cabin experience. We'll get you a first look next week on 7th of August. Keep an eye on our website or across the various social media platforms for the video reviews as well as the photographs. But we've been speaking a lot about the Kia Sonet as well. For the past few weeks, we've been talking bits of information, bits of photographs have been shown to us.
Which is fantastic. I mean, that photograph of the interiors, I mean, on the exteriors, it looks nice. We've also seen a few more grabs of the exteriors. There was one more teaser image that was released some time back, and it showed you what the grille looked like. There have also been some images leaked from various places. And we've seen the car looks impressive. The car looks interesting, attractive for that matter. I think people will once again have something to cheer about, and essentially at least head to now all the digital platforms that manufacturers have got. So even Kia's got the digital platform, so they probably get over there and book their Sonet for that matter. But here's a few takeaways from those interior images that you've seen. One is that large screen on that dashboard. It almost looks like a 12.5-inch screen that runs across the dashboard. Pretty large. Connected technologies. If you look at that screen again, there are several of those apps over there, so it's going to be connected for sure. Keep in mind, this is the sibling of Hyundai's Venue, and Hyundai Venue has already got the connected technology on it. So yeah, it's safe to assume that Kia will also offer the same architecture, the digital architecture that the Venue has got. On the other aspect, those vertical loops for the aircon, that also, those elements look very nice. I'm not sure. I'm sitting in a Venue right now. This is the car I am in, and I'm looking at the dashboard right here in front of me. I could quickly take my camera around and show you that. That's the Venue. And if you look at it, what Kia has done essentially is raise the screen over here, and the AC loops have been lowered and a little more vertical, slightly vertical stack there. But it's a very interesting design feature, and it's also got all of those metallic finish embezzlements around around the aircon vents. That's interesting. Another very, very interesting, and I'm not sure how many people have observed this, but if you look a little lower down from the screen, there is also the automatic transmission, which you can clearly see out there. That gate for the transmission, that's an automatic transmission. That's going to be one of the options. That's one of the takeaways from this. That's what we can expect. We also do know that Kia will, at some point in time, either at time of launch itself or perhaps later, offer the IMT transmission. Hyundai has offered that in the Venue, so I'm expecting Kia will come out with it at the time of launch itself. So that could be one of the options available there. But the one what we are seeing is definitely the dual clutch transmission or the automatic, a normal torque converter automatic. So what that option is going to be there, we'll see that once the car more details are revealed to us. This is what we can observe so far. There's also this very interesting screen or a layout that's right below the main infotainment screen. I'm quite curious to know what that is. So to me, it looks like the air conditioner selection panel, and that's what you can do over there, because there are a few buttons. If you look very carefully, there are a few buttons on that. I also like the slightly minimalistic design on the steering wheel. If you look at that, there are very few controls on that steering wheel. I'm going to take you back to my menu, and this is the steering wheel you can see here. And that's a lot of buttons and controllers for the cruise control, and of course for the volume, audio, and the talkback features. So I'm assuming the Sonet will also have all of these features available. But looking at those images, those illustrations of the interiors, it looks a fairly minimalistic steering wheel. But let's wait and see what the production model has got. Like Sohini just mentioned, we will have details for you on the 7th of August when we have the information in our hand. We will get you some videos and stories about it on the particular day. So, well, stay glued in to what OverDrive has to offer.
All right. Moving on, Jeep has completed 3 years of the Compass being in India, and to celebrate this, they are offering a Night Eagle limited global edition. As you can see, the Night Eagle embodies a gloss black and grey front grille, dark finished alloy wheels. Apart from this brilliant black color, the other color options are Vocal White, Exotica Red, and Magnesio Grey. The company will be manufacturing only 250 units of this SUV, all in the mid-spec Longitude Plus trim level. Online bookings for the same are open now.
And this is quite an interesting, fantastic work that they've done. From what I've been seeing on certain comments, also people are saying, I mean, forget all the rest of the colors. We just want an all black Jeep henceforth. That's it. Period. I like those wheels especially. I mean, those 5 clover leaf pattern that they've got looks very Alfa Romeo-ish, but fantastic wheels, fantastic design over there. Even the interiors look quite smashing. That black upholstery with that slight honeycomb effect on it. It's just absolutely brilliant. Looks gorgeous. But just as information to give out to you guys, since this is, you did mention that this is based on the Longitude Plus variant, what Jeep also says is that the Longitude Plus variant will be available even after this limited run. The 250 units are sold off. They will get you more models. The Longitude Plus will continue to be available in their range. So don't assume that range will be discontinued. It will continue to be there in their stables. So that's the Jeep Compass Night Eagle. I like the name also. Very American Night Eagle, isn't it?
I like the name. I like the look as well. I think it looks really good.
Yeah, it looks impressive. Definitely looks impressive.
That's 250 models for India as of now for the limited edition. Now, moving on, we stumbled upon a very interesting video on the internet courtesy Abhinav Bhatt. It is what we believe is the prototype of the WagonR 7-seater. Can we have the video? Yeah. So we expect the cabin finish to be a little more upmarket than the usual WagonR that we have. A pair of captain's seats in the second row and third row jump seats as well. The 7-seater WagonR will most likely run on the same 1.2-liter K12V petrol motor with a 5-speed manual or an AMG. But the question
is,
when
all this is a lot of speculation. All this is a lot of speculation at this point in time. Maruti is just running benchmark testing. They have no intentions of getting this out this year, neither next year. And whether this will be a 7-seater WagonR also is a big question mark. Keep in mind, they already have the Ertiga, and that's selling. And they need something in the petrol powertrain, of course, to do. To be available for that matter. So this could be a replacement to the Ertiga. We're not sure of that at this point in time. I've been speaking to the blokes at Maruti, and they do not have a clear strategy and a plan right now. But this will shape up in the months to come. But what they are clear about is that 2020 or 2021 also, if something of this sort comes out, it'll only be late 2021, maybe towards the festive season of 2021. If not, then 2022 is when we can expect something in this space.
All right. Moving on, there's some very exciting news coming in from BMW as well. They want to have 25 electrified models by the year 2023. The X1 and the 5 Series is the next step to it. The next generation model of these two cars is expected to come with fully electric powertrains. Aside from the EV versions, though, these models will also continue to be available in 48-volt mild hybrid petrol, diesel, and the plug-in hybrid powertrains. BMW has not released any timelines for when the EVs will be available, but we do expect that these will be launched within a 2 or 3 year period from now.
Yeah, most manufacturers in Europe, of course, are going very strongly with their EV plans. They're moving on the EV plans very strongly. The product lineups that you've seen so far, whether it's the Volkswagen Group, whether it is BMW, even with Mercedes-Benz, all of them have got 15, 20 cars lined up. They're all in the pipeline. They're all going to be launched, one after another. Introductions are going to happen very, very soon. How many of these will actually make it down to India is a big question mark, though. So let's not jump that gun. I know there are going to be some questions that will come up and saying, oh, when is BMW going to come with an EV? And all of the EV punters and the guys holding up the EV flag, it's not going to happen immediately. Keep in mind, there's still some amount of infrastructure that is required. And one of the biggest worries that the European manufacturers have is that while they would offer an EV in this country, would they be able to provide value to a consumer, essentially, since they will not be fast charging points. So you kind of you will be stuck with your car and using only the charging station that you've got at home. Probably also keep in mind, a lot of the European manufacturers don't have an extensive network as some of the Indian manufacturers. So even putting up fast chargers in certain places, which is usually what most manufacturers do, is put them up at the dealerships at this point in time. That could be a challenge for the Europeans, since they don't have that larger network. So having said that, it's going to be some time away. But yeah, I mean, the next generation X1 and the 5 Series also, it's not going to be only electric. Let's be very clear about that. While BMW says there will be electrics over here, these electrics will of course be for the European markets. They will continue to service Asian markets, developing countries for that matter, and other markets where electric vehicle proliferation is not that high. They will continue to service them with petrol and diesel powertrains for that matter. So it doesn't mean that everything is going to stop and they're going to have only electrics. They will definitely go on with the petrol and diesel powertrains.
All right. And finally, the next story that we have up next is about the Vios, what we know as Yaris in India. The only reason we are focusing on this is because the C segment has taken off pretty well in the past few weeks. The car has finally been unveiled in Philippines. It maintains a familial resemblance to Toyota's larger sedans, and by that I mean it's very similar to the Camry, which is sold in India. We're hoping that this car makes it down to India sometime as well. But this would make for a very interesting choice right now, given that the Verna, the city, all of it, we've just had the comparison tests and all. Yaris is the only one which is remaining right now.
Absolutely, but let's keep in mind the large generation Yaris also. I mean, what we had in India before this didn't do extremely well. It still struggled. Numbers weren't that good for Toyota. Sorry, has my screen frozen? Well, it does look like my screen's frozen.
Your screen is frozen, but your audio is good.
All right, as long as my audio is clear, great. So long as you can hear me, what I was trying to say, the point I was trying to make was that the previous generation Yaris, of course, it didn't make a big impact in the Indian market, and Toyota did, suffer a setback with that sedan. Also because a lot of attention was then diverted towards SUVs like the Creta, and of course in more recent times, like last year the Seltos came in. So the SUV segment has really blown up in a big way in that where these sedans exist. The Honda City, the Ciaz have been two of the cars, even the Verna to some extent. These are the two or three sedans that kept up some amount of attention, kept glued to the sedan segment, to that entry C sedan segment. But otherwise, most of the attention has been diverted straight off towards SUVs. In this environment, going ahead in the future, also, will it make a lot of sense for Toyota to get the Yaris?
Oh,
I
I
believe
think we seem to have lost Bert there. This is a common problem with the internet nowadays. I was worried that I wouldn't be able to be on the show this week, given that last week I was facing the same problem.
so
Yes,
just
Aditya.
to add about the new Yaris, in fact, I've seen the photos and it looks smarter than what it was, because I did spend some time with the Yaris during some of my features. Any insights? So I mean, the one that they were selling in India right now didn't really have that excitement, and I believe the new one should have that. So yeah, that's my take from the new Yaris.
All right, I think Bert is back. Let's see if we can get Bert back on the.
Yeah, this internet connectivity is a issue.
I think we are all facing it. You sitting in Nasik, you're facing it. I'm sitting in Bombay, I'm facing it. Bert sitting in his car is also facing it.
Yeah.
Okay. Let's take a couple of our viewer queries right now. Let me try and get some motorcycle queries for you.
Yeah, because I was just waiting for some motorcycle question, because I've been just sitting here waiting to tell something or just answer something.
Okay. Actually, we seem to have most of our questions are only about cars. One sec. Bert is here as well.
I think
Hi,
Bert's
guys.
here.
I think we should start a
we've
show
got
on
Bert back.
that discusses and critiques internet connectivity. And let's talk about all the connectors. Not that there are too many left in the market, but yeah. And Wi-Fi and internet is a big challenge, is a big issue. I run through gigabytes of data every single day, and yeah, especially challenging when we're on these live shows. But sorry, guys, I'm back again over here. Sorry for that interruption. But yeah, I'm back again. And yeah, as I was talking about the Yaris, I'm not entirely sure. I'm not sure what you heard, but I'm not entirely convinced that the Yaris has got a strong case for itself going ahead. We'll have to see what the numbers are like, first of all, for the Honda City, and of course, the Verna. It's not great and very strong numbers. Even the Ciaz numbers have been dropping consistently, but let's see what what kind of a response the market has towards the Honda City, and that'll probably give Toyota also an idea about whether the next generation Yaris should make an appearance in India. I doubt it. I have my strong doubts about whether that would happen, but let's wait and watch.
All right. We'll take a question now from Vijay Raja Manikam. He says he already has a Pulsar 150. Which bike should he buy in the same range? Aditya?
Yeah, Vijay, if I could have known how old is a motorcycle, but you know what? There are a lot of these options in the 160cc space. In case you are looking for a motorcycle of the same displacement, you've got the Apache RTR, you've got the Xtreme 160R, you've got the FZ, you've got the Gixxer, you've got the Honda X8. So there are a lot of these options. Right now, we've ridden the Xtreme 160R, so I think that's the only motorcycle that we can talk about. We are yet to ride the other motorcycles, so I believe it boils down to what you really like, because if you are really looking for performance, I think it's the Apache RTR 160 that we would recommend. But if you are looking for a motorcycle with more focus on the efficiency bit, I think then the Xtreme 160 should start.
All right. But here's one for you.
Someone from who had a BMW. There was another question, and who's been waiting for quite some time. Someone who's got a BMW, and
There's quite a few questions, in fact.
Yeah.
About
this is from
many BMW.
Nihar Agarwal.
Nihar has a lot of
BMW
questions
5
about BMW. Which one are you referring to?
Well, it keeps repeating itself, but there's one question that he's got in his 5 Series interior door handles and the rubber covering, which covers the controls in the driver door, is also sticky. Is this due to car not being used? Yes, Nihar, this is very possible because you've not been utilizing the car. Keep in mind, as the car, I'm not sure where you park your car, but if your car has been lying outdoors in the open during the summer season, the heat that's generated inside the cars can affect the quality of rubber and materials, upholstery materials that are used inside the car. It can affect these. It's quite possible that, and I'm not sure which city you're from, but I'm assuming you're from Bombay or somewhere over here, or because if it is humidity was high as well, The last few weeks has seen extremely high humidity in places like Bombay. I'm sure around the rest of the country also it's been quite bad for that matter. But I know it's been a very, very hot summer. And I'm basing this because we've all got tremendously large electric bills. But yeah, the heat can affect the interiors and the upholstery, the materials used inside your car.
He, in fact, had a question about what's your view on the motor department removing mandatory spare wheel, considering even his 5 series driven just
28,000
28,000
kilometers. Well,
kilometers.
Nihar, what's the view? Keep in mind, this is not mandatory. This is not a mandatory requirement. It is not. It's just an advisory statement where they're suggesting that manufacturers can do away with the spare wheel and use the TPMS system, onboard TPMS system, and give a repair kit to owners. There are advantages to this also. Keep in mind because you will have lesser weight that you're carrying inside your vehicle. It's not a lot of weight, but anywhere between 8 to 10 kilos of weight that you will be saving inside your car. Having said that, also there are. I mean, I have been driving quite consistently for the last I don't know how many years. And over the last couple of years, I've really not had too many punctures for that matter. At best, in I'd say the last year, 365 days, I probably had none. So the odds of getting punctures these days are very, very limited for that matter. So yeah, I definitely think it's a benefit. I don't think there are any disadvantages over here. BMW used to face a lot of this problem initially because you would have run flat tires and most of the spares, if they were provided also for that matter, were space savers. Is it absolutely essential? I don't know. How many problems have you faced with the puncture on your tires, and how often have you had to, replace that? And either way, I mean, you would get a space saver in your car. BMWs essentially would have a bit more of a problem because your tires, essentially run flat tires, come with very hard, very strong sidewalls. But that also means that also keeps the ride quality pretty stiff, and this means some potholes post monsoons when you crash through them can effectively damage the sidewalls rather than getting punctures. That's a possibility in BMWs in their cars, but otherwise, just general punctures, I don't think that's much of a problem. You can easily live without a spare tire.
All right. Aditya, there's one for you. Just once again, he wants to know your views on the purchase of a second-hand WagonR 400 for touring. Again, he's touring, and now from the SUV, he's jumping to a motorcycle.
See, like I said, there can be an adventure motorcycle that can do it all. Anyway, so answering the question of Chavan, I think it should be a good proposition to go for a used WagonR 400, provided it's in a good shape, obviously, because I have experienced the WagonR 400 for a very long period, for a very brief period, but it was nice. It feels comfortable. In fact, we have written its younger sibling, the WagonR 250, which has the same dynamics. So I think we should just go for it. But it also depends on what are your requirements when you say touring, because like I said, the WagonR 400 is very good if you want to tour, but on a well-paved road. But if you're looking for a motorcycle that will do touring on good road, on bad road, on trails, then even the Himalayan BS6 is not a bad idea. So I think if we can, it all depends on your personal preference.
All right. But here's a question from Puzzle Pramod. Firstly, it says feedback on the new Honda City. Then he says, how would it benefit the sales part in reduction of the insurance amount, as the insurance amount is reduced from September?
I didn't get that question. The second part of the question, what's the feedback on the Honda City? The feedback on the Honda City is very, very positive as of now. I mean, at least from amongst us who review and analyze these cars day in, day out, my team has been very, very impressed with the Honda City. The reviews are extremely positive for that matter. It's a very, very good car overall. It definitely elevates the City brand to a whole new level. So Honda's done a commendable job in that aspect. On the insurance part, yes, the insurance premiums will go down from September. that's only a good thing. That's only a good thing. There are only positives coming out from there. What I would definitely like to see, however, at some point in time, is a more structured policy where insurance is concerned, which will take various factors into account, the size of your car, the power it makes, the cost of your car. All of these factors are taken into consideration, and then your premium is calculated basis that, including sometimes even the age of the driver, for that matter, how old or how young you are. All of these factors will make a difference, will make an impact on the pricing. But again, we're not sure that's just kind of structure that will come in. How will the sales part be affected by the reduction of the insurance amount? I definitely think there definitely will be a growth in sales for that matter. It's not going to be. It's not going to impact it adversely. It will only impact it positively.
All right. Nitin Joshua, our regular digital show viewer, has a question this week as well. When will
We're
the
going to make
next
a club.
generation...
We're going to make a Nitin Joshua club on Overdrive.
I love seeing people who watch it weekly send us questions.
We should make a forum of these people.
Sorry?
We should make a forum of these people where they can keep on putting questions.
Absolutely.
We will work towards that. We will definitely work towards that. But yeah, Nitin's got the question only the next generation Civic come to India. The next generation Civic, Nitin, is still some time away. So well, keep your horses in check. Then this is still quite some time away. Keep in mind the last Civic that we had. I mean, it took quite some time for that to be replaced. So this one will also take some time.
All right, we'll take one last question before we dive into the motorcycle news. Vinod Kalapad wants to know, do you feel Tata Altroz engine is underpowered? Which car would you prefer, the Hyundai i10 Neos or the Altroz for city and highway usage?
No, Vinod, the Altroz engine isn't underpowered. In fact, when I driven it in Rajasthan, Jaisalmer, it felt absolutely fine. There was no strain whatsoever. You could cruise comfortably in it at high speeds. Even low-end drivability was fantastic. So that car has got no issues where drivability is concerned. It's quite impressive. But having said that, I mean, it'll all depend on what you're looking to get from your car. Are you looking for drivability? Or are you looking for a slightly more spirited performance from that? What kind of a driver are you, and whether that engine will actually appeal to you? Having said that, the Hyundai i10 Neos, I mean, I'd go for the turbo version because that is an absolute rocket. That's a bomb. That's a fantastic car. Does it compare to the Altroz? Not. The Altroz definitely offers a lot more space. It's a far more roomier cabin, and it looks nice as well. I have to admit this. I mean, it definitely looks very nice in certain shades. Of course, the gold that we drove in Rajasthan, it looks absolutely brilliant. But these are not really comparable to each other in that sense. If I had to do the i10 Neos with the 1-liter turbo engine, definitely that would be the car if you want spirited driving. If not, the Altroz will tick all your boxes.
All right. Aditya, I believe you have a couple of motorcycle news to share with us.
Why do you look surprised, Aditya? Are you just waiting for the feedback?
Yeah. So Yamaha has launched the BS6 FZ25, and the prices are out. So yeah, so the new FZ25 is around 16,000 more premium than the previous. And so the Yamaha had unveiled this motorcycle earlier this year, and not a lot has changed in terms of design. In fact, the new FZ25 looks far more interesting compared to the previous motorcycle. The FZ25S gets a knuckle guard and underbelly cover. The performance number, the power and the torque numbers have not changed. They're pretty much identical. And in terms of weight, it has gone up by a kg. Rest all is nice. But what makes the FZ25 an important motorcycle is the fact that now this is the most affordable 250cc motorcycle that you can buy. Previous to the FZ25, it was the Dominar at 160, but this undercuts it by 8,000 rupees. So that's the Yamaha FZ25 for you. And should we move to the next section?
Yes, absolutely.
All right. Now, the other big news and something that was really exciting is Honda has finally opened the booking for the 2020 Fireblade CBR 1000 RRR. That's a lot of art, but this is a very, very important motorcycle and interesting motorcycle. First of all, you should know that this is the most powerful iteration of the Fireblade ever made. In terms of numbers, it makes around 214 bhp and 113 newton meters of torque. Those are the numbers in front of you. Look at the peak torque; it's 14,500. That's crazy. Now, in terms of design, it might look familiar because Honda has taken inspiration from the RC213V, while the inspiration does not end there, as the whole stroke of this all new 999 engine is identical to the road version of the RC213V, that is the Xtreme. The equipment list consists of a 5-inch CFP. The electronics is not just 5 axis, 6 axis. Now there is the Fireblade and the Fireblade SP. So obviously the SP gets a lot more goodies like Oleans and Brembo style mask. So that's all that the SP gets. Now we have some idea of the pricing, which that is it should be around the 20 lakh price bracket. Honda has told us that delivery should begin by the end of August, and we are hoping that we get one of these motorcycles to review and feature it on OVERDRIVE.
All right. So I guess those are the motorcycle news that we had from this week. Let's again go back to our comments. We have a very short, limited time right now, in fact, before we can wrap up the show this week. But Mirang Panchal Tosh wants to know the Creta 1.4 SXO versus the 1.4 Seltos GTX Plus manual requirement is performance, comfort, and ride quality.
Manual requirement is performance, comfort, and ride quality. So, well, they're very closely matched, Mirang, to be honest. And essentially, what you're looking at, I mean, where performance, where comfort or ride quality is concerned, they're very, very closely matched. There isn't much of a difference over here. Where it will only matter is at the level of, the kit that each of these variants has to offer. I don't have that information with me, unfortunately, at hand. But this is something that you'll have to see which of these offers you a little more kit. I would assume at this point in time the GTX Plus gets you just a few more features than the Creta 1.4 SX or the O, which is the optional version. So you'll have to just go through those specifications list. You can go to overdrive.in and check them out. Over there, you can compare the two cars side by side and see which one offers you a little more value. Otherwise, for every other purpose, the performance, comfort, ride quality, the dynamics, they're almost spot on. The feel that you get from when driving these cars is they're very close to each other. Essentially, they're the same car, just with a little bit of fettling by Kia for the Seltos, or now of course the upgrades where the Creta has come up with. But yeah, they're close to each other. Just see what the feature set is there and what that has to offer.
What Nihar is asking us is the BMW 6 GT getting fully electric powertrain? 6R GT, considering it's basically a 5-year GT
and it's getting a standard hybrid powertrain. Yes, BMW has just announced, I mean, those 23 odd cars that will be coming in. One of them that will definitely get an electric powertrain will be the 6 GT. While it's not, they're popular models in India for that matter. The GTs also, the popular models in India, essentially because of the body style they've got and the kind of space that they offer. So these are also very, very popular in Europe for that matter. So yes, they will definitely be some of the cars that will get the electric powertrain in the future, Nihar.
All right. There's a question from Vikram. He wanted to know what's the best SUV or diesel automatic SUV that you can get under 25 lakhs?
Well, tough to say that. You can definitely go through our comparison review that we've got on the Creta and the Seltos, where the Seltos marginally wins it. And of course, those two SUVs come under the 25 lakh bracket with all the kit that you could have. You've also got options on the T-Roc and the Karoq in this segment. But just wait for a little while. We will get you a comparison story on there as well as to which of these two, which between those two are good SUVs. But my bet would lie on either the Seltos or the Creta, either one of those. Of course, the Seltos, which won our comparison test, is definitely the one to go for under the 25 lakh rupee bracket.
All right. I think those are all the questions that we have for now. I'm just scrolling through. Yes.
Sorry,
So I
what
think
he
it's
mentioned
time.
also was sorry. I'll just very quickly. What he also mentioned was diesels, and excuse me, but yeah, Volkswagen is not going to be offering the diesel, so those are out of the question. What you've got again comes back to the whole point: the Seltos or the Creta. The Seltos, I think, is where what you should be choosing.
All right. So I think with that, we've come to the end of our show. So, but before we leave, we came across a very exciting video from Ford Performance. They've recently published a video showing us how an electric Mustang is capable of doing anything that its fuel injected siblings are capable of. The Mustang Mach-E 1400. So I honestly enjoyed watching this video, and I feel that if this is what the future has in store for us, and if this is what electric looks like, I can't wait for it. Have you guys
No,
checked out the video already?
electric doesn't look like this. Let's not be mistaken. Electrics don't look like this. Performance electrics will definitely look like this. Performance race cars will look like this. For that matter, keep in mind this is something that they're experimenting for this for the racing circuits and not necessarily for for regular consumption. Having said that, also what makes this video very exciting is because Ken Block is in there and they've been drifting those two cars around. So makes it all that more interesting. Lots of tire smoke. I wish it was a little less tire smoke so you could see a lot more of the car. But I was just watching the video clips earlier today itself, and I mean, there's just so much tire smoke in those videos. Oh man, that was just that was amazing.
Yeah.
But yeah, I would like to see a lot more of the car.
And to add to that, the whining of the electric motor is crazy. Like you hear these.
Crazy. What I also think is that. Sorry, Aditya, what were you? Sorry, you were saying something.
I was saying, you see all these vehicles stacked in line together, and you're mentally prepared that there's a lot of roar, and you know which car will go ahead, right? But imagine, all of them are stacked, and just boom, there's an electric just whining, go straight, and they all are like puzzled and sober we as an audience. So I think that's really crazy.
Well, I would have definitely liked to see a lot more about the dynamic abilities of that car and how it performs corners and everything. But I do believe they were testing it at an airstrip or an airfield, and that's where the shoot took place, which is essentially just a straight piece of tarmac where they didn't have much, space to do, I guess, a lot more. But I'm expecting to see a few more videos coming up in the future, if not from Ford, then perhaps from Ken Block. But yeah, on that note, I think let's wind up over there, and are we saying goodbye to everybody? We're 2 minutes over, so sorry about that, but goodbye, people. Enjoy this last clip of the Ford Mach-E 1400. Fantastic being there with you, and do send your questions in to us. I'd also like to take this just a few seconds more. Overdrive, the magazine is available now in physical form as a print edition as well as a digital edition. You can buy this. You can go to overdrive.in. We're available, and we're selling also through Flipkart, through Amazon. So there are lots of options at Snapdeal as well that is there. So you can just buy the magazine off there. You can just get the digital copy as well. So do go there, read whatever is there in that magazine. It's packed. We're also going to be coming up with the August issue pretty soon. Print has been taking us a bit of time to get the hard copies across to you. So sorry about that, guys. Anyone facing delays for that matter, it's still a bit of a challenge because the entire the courier services are not working at 100% efficiency. So there are challenges there. Printing as well is taking us a little longer than we expected, but do bear with us. We are glad and thankful and grateful for your support so far, for continuing to read us and continuing to be with us, continuing to come on the show and ask us these questions as well. And we're here to help you out with your queries. So send those questions coming in. Do read the magazine. Just head to overdrive.in, watch us on the show, head to our website, and please follow us on our social media feeds where information keeps coming to you faster than what it comes on the website. And Aditya is responsible for the website as well, partly responsible for the website for that matter. So any brick bats, any bricks that you need to throw, Aditya's there. He's a big guy. You won't miss.
All right. So we'll wrap up this week's show. We'll catch everyone next week as well. Stay safe and enjoy this video.
Take care, guys. Bye-bye.
Hmm.